interaction you've had with them in terms of a workout or a Zoom meeting, and if you have had interaction with them, how it went?
Yes. I had Zoom interviews, but in terms of workouts, I'm not speaking on that question. So that's
okay. Who did you meet with in the Zoom, and how do you see yourself fitting potentially with the Utah Jazz then?
Yes, sir. So yeah, I met with them in the Zoom, and I see myself fitting with the Utah Jazz. I feel like one thing I could bring is physicality inside. My shooting ability to stretch the floor, and being able to play at their pace, up and down, and just being able to come in right away and being able to impact the team.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. We're going to go to Justin Quinn. Justin, if you would unmute and go ahead.
Hi, Isaiah. I cover the Boston Celtics for USA Today. I was wondering if you had any contact with them, and if you did, maybe could you tell me how it went?
Yes, I've had a Zoom interview with the Celtics, and it went great. It was a great Zoom interview, and that's pretty much all I can say. It was a great Zoom interview, and great organization, great coaching staff.
How would you picture your fit if they did take you in the draft?
Again, I know Coach Brad Stevens had success with centers that's similar to me. I watched them some in the bubble. I feel like I'll be able to fit in pretty easy with them as well. Just the way my game is. With them having Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, already have some superstars. I just feel like what I do could fit in pretty easy and help the team win games and get them over that hump.
All right, thank you. We'll go next to Jonathan Kiernan. Jonathan, if you would unmute and go ahead for Isaiah.
Hi, Isaiah. Thank you so much for your time. It's Jonathan Kiernan, NBA Columns. What players did you look up to at an early age that you feel might have influenced your skill set? And are there any current NBA players that you can structure your game after?
Yes, sir. I say growing up, the reason why I wear 33 is because of Patrick Ewing. So growing up, that was a player I watched a lot. I was always on YouTube arguing with other people about Patrick Ewing. So I watched him growing up a lot. But now that, with today's generation of people at my position, some guys I've been watching a lot on Synergy, or guys like Bam Adebayo, Montrezl Harrell, guys I feel like sort of kind of the same mode as me.
Jonathan, thanks. We're going to go next to Mark Berman. Mark, if you would unmute, please.
Hi, Isaiah. I guess there's a lot of Knicks fans out in Rochester. How much would it mean to you if, somehow the Knicks drafted you, if you were there at 27?
Yes, sir. I think that would be great. It was definitely a lot of Knicks fans back home in Rochester, New York. With New York not being that far away from Rochester, I'm sure, if I was to get drafted by the Knicks at 27, I'll have a lot of fans come up here and support me. So, that would be great. I'll definitely, could see that being great for the city of Rochester as well.
You said you grew up idolizing Patrick. I mean, the Knicks as well. I mean, you rooted for them growing up?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I didn't really have a favorite NBA team. Yeah, I have a favorite NBA player. It was Patrick Ewing. That's why I wear number 33.
Thanks.
Thank you much. Christos, we're going to go to you next. Christos, unmute and go right ahead.
Hello, Isaiah. You talk about Patrick Ewing. How big was the influence of him on your game? And also, what do you expect about next season? What are your expectations?
Yes, sir. His game, to me, early on, he had the face-up game, the mid-range. So I enjoyed watching that about his game early on. I feel like he was one of the bigs that started that trend. And my expectations at the next level is to, just come in right away and be able to impact a team. Short term, those are my goals. Be impactful, be ready to play, and be able to go from day one.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Moving along. Next, Ian Begley, you're up. If you would unmute.
Isaiah, thanks so much for doing this. One more question about Patrick Ewing, if you don't mind. Did you give any consideration to go to Georgetown because of your affinity for him?
Oh yeah, yes sir, for sure. That was hard for me to say no to Georgetown, especially with Patrick Ewing recruiting me. Him having that Jamaican background, my dad being Jamaican, they connected pretty easy. And, it was a great visit, and he recruited me hard. So, that was a tough one. I definitely considered going to Georgetown.
Two other quick ones. Did you have a Zoom interview with the Knicks or the Nets?
Yes.
With both?
Yes.
And I know you don't want to reveal anything about the in-person workouts, but could you say anything about like the range of the teams that you worked out with? Were any of them like lottery or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm not speaking on that as well.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And we're going to go next to Zachary. Zachary, if you would unmute and go ahead for Isaiah.
Thanks for doing this, Isaiah. Zach Chavalella with Philly Sports Network covering the Sixers. I was wondering, have you had any contact with Philadelphia? And if so, how did that go? And how do you think you fit in Philly?
Yes, sir. Yes, I had contact with Philly in terms of a Zoom interview. And yeah, I mean, I could see myself fitting in Philly as well. I already know the pieces they have, but I feel like I can do things, that also impact the game that, that's working around those two stars that they have there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you much. Go next to Rylan. Rylan, if you would unmute and go ahead for Isaiah, please.
Hey, Isaiah, I was wondering if you had any contact with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and if you did, how do you see yourself fitting in there?
Yes, sir. I had contact with them, Zoom interview. Again, I see myself fitting there. Feel like that would be a good fit as well. My game to me is pretty simple. What I bring to the team, and I feel like to them, right away I bring, winning attributes with just me rebounding, playing hard, motor, and being able to stretch the floor, doing anything the coach asks me to do.
All right, thank you much. And we're going to move to Alder, if you would unmute and go ahead, please.
Hi, Isaiah. Thank you for your time. I would just like to ask, because I'm covering the Knicks. How do you see yourself fitting in next to Mitch Robinson?
Easy. My physicality right away. I feel like New York, in order for you to play in New York, you have to be tough. You have to have, they like tough-nosed guys. So, that's who I am, already. And I feel like, I could play next to a big with, again, me being able to shoot the ball and stretching the floor some.
Thank you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, thank you. Next to Dwayne Rankin, if you would unmute and go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, and you've been asked, obviously, these questions about who you've done Zoom interviews with, and I'm going to continue the trend. Have you done a Zoom interview with the Phoenix Suns?
No.
Okay. And just to follow that up, I know you've sort of maybe repeated yourself about what you would bring to an NBA team, but if you could just put it in a nutshell and clarify, regardless of who you would go to, what you could bring to that team.
Yeah, regardless of who I would go to, everybody knows my game. But those who, see me and know that I can stretch the floor. But people know I bring, at the end of the day, my motor. Hard work, running the floor, rebounding, and just doing all the little things that may not show up in the stat sheet. So to put my game in a nutshell, I'm a person who just do anything it takes to win. But one thing that I didn't get to show is just my shooting ability. Something I feel like I'm going to be coming in the league with that's going to surprise a lot of people. So,
thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. We have time for about 2 or 3 more quickly, so we're going to move to Louis Poselli, if you will unmute and go ahead.
Hey, Isaiah. You talked about your shooting before, but is that something you've been working? Is that your focus during this time you had to practice in the pandemic?
Yeah, it's been a long process, and I feel like I'm somebody who definitely took advantage of this long process to work on my game and continue to get better. So, shooting has been one of my main focuses, and I've come a long way with that, and I'm shooting it good. So, definitely been a focus. Definitely something I've been getting better at.
Lewis, thanks. And we're going to go to William. William Gallo, if you would unmute and go right ahead.
Hi, thank you. Hello from France. Just have one question. Like, you played in the Pac-12 and you faced some very good big men. Do you feel that you should be selected before those guys? And do you think that you will be a better player than them in the future?
Yeah, yes, sir. So I definitely had some great matchups in the Pac-12, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I've won those matchups. Those guys I played against, and if you go back and watch the film, I dominated each and every matchup with guys at my position. Do I feel like I should be selected before them? Most definitely. I feel like film doesn't lie, and at the end of the day, it's a lot of hype. A lot of things surrounding certain players, but at the end of the day, we all have to step on the floor and play basketball, and we'll find that out soon. So.
All right, let's get a couple more here. Hector, please, if you'd unmute and go ahead with Isaiah. Hector.
Isaiah, hello. I'm wondering if the Spurs have been a team that's contacted you.
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask how that meeting went?
Yeah. Everybody knows Spurs is a great organization. The meeting went great. They have great people. Over there at that organization. So, the meeting was great.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And Aaron Rose, if you're still with us, if you would unmute, and you'll be the last question for Isaiah.
Hey, Isaiah. Have you spoken to the Raptors at all?
Yes, sir.
And I'm just wondering, what kind of feedback have you gotten from your workouts from teams, and are there things that you've been working on from those interactions?
I'm not speaking on no topic of any workouts.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, to our media, thank you very much for joining. Isaiah, thank you, and stay with us. We have a couple